I'd like to call the meeting of the Plaquemines Parish Council for June 25th, 2024 to order at 2:03 PM. Machines are open for a roll call.
I did it.
There we go.
All 9 council members are present. At this time, we'll stand for the prayer by our council member Champagne, pledged by council member McCarty.
Take this moment to acknowledge Almighty God and thank Him for our bountiful blessings, especially for the parish's natural resources. We give thanks to God for our brave and courageous men and women in our military who daily risk their lives to protect our precious freedom, and we pray for our world leaders to know how to obtain world peace. We pray that this government body, comprised of both council and administration, will always serve our parish with honesty, humility, and equality to all. And as this government body gathers here today, we pray for the wisdom to know right from wrong and the courage to do that which is right. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item, please.
Item 2, executive session. There is none. 3, proclamations. There are none. 4, status report by the parish president.
And we're going to combine 4A also.
Update by charter directors.
The parish president's out today, although he did request that we defer 9B and 9E on behalf of the administration.
Good afternoon. On Tuesday, my assistant emailed to each of you my updates for this council meeting. I'll entertain any questions if you have any.
Any questions for Ms. Taylor? Or go ahead, all the directors, and then we'll ask questions. Probably easier that way.
All right, from an operations standpoint, grass cutting and roads is what I'll talk about. Highways and levees are still, for the most part, on schedule. You all know we did have a bunch of rain the last 2 weeks. It doesn't really slow us down that much as far as levees and roads, unless it starts tearing up the ground. They all enclosed cockpits with AC, so that's not an issue. It's when they start making ruts and tearing up stuff. That's the only time it really delays us. On the A-boom, the ditch cutter situation, the one on the South Plaque end of the West Bank has been down for several weeks too long. So we had to make a decision to break off the one that was working its way south in the Jesuit Bend area. We sent that down the road, started in Venice, had it coming up, and that's where it still is today. I think it's up maybe into the Buras area. We do know we need to get that back down. The one on the East Bank is fine. We need to get the other one either split up. We have 2. We have one that we brought out of Mothballs Conda. It's more of a ditch bank. It's not so much an A-boom that reaches out far. It basically lays down, same as a 15-foot butterfly wing would do. It does help. It's better than nothing. We did entertain some contractors who gave us some quotes on several different options on things. One of the ones we are ready to move forward with is an A-boom cutter situation. And it's the only, of 6 companies we dealt with, this guy's the only one had any equipment that could do that. He wants to start in the Bell Chase area, which was fine with us because we know we had 5 areas on the north side of the bridge alone. That was a big deal. It's really big main outfall canals, not so much ditches, and they're bad. The Johnson grass around those are growing like crazy. You can't even go every other week on those. The Johnson grass shoots up 3 feet high. I know Concord Road is one of those areas. You can cut it, and 2 weeks later, it's 3-4 feet above the curb. It's to the point when you drive down the street, your mirrors are hitting the Johnson grass. So once we get that finalized, which should be within a couple of days, Miss Patty, because it affects you, you can just tell us if I think we should prioritize and make Covert the first one. It's Covert, it's at the end of Upsilon, and it's it's actually 7 total, 5 locations on the north side of the bridge. Culvert is more important, it's more of a safety issue because you got a couple of intersections that cars come out and you can't see. I know Mr. LaFrance has that issue along 23 sometimes, and we got to go catch those for the same reason. Planters Canal, it's just cosmetic, right? It just, if you live on Planters Canal, it's important to you, but it's really only an ugly thing. You look across the street and you see high grass along the ditch bank. So if that's okay with you, we'll get him prioritized as soon as we get him on board, and he can start on Culvert. Sure, yeah. Continued from the last meeting is talking about those contracts. We were talking with about 6 different people. About half of them have gave us some numbers back, enough to make comparisons to, and it's from one extreme to the other. So we're looking to move forward. We've had to call some of them back and make sure we're comparing apples to apples. So we're working on that. Continued from the last meeting too was the GIS department is working on mapping some of these parish ditches. Same way with roadways. Mr. Kognovich missed that last time. As we start getting complaints about different things around the parish, we started thinking, man, does the parish actually own this many ditches, this many roads? So we've taxed GIS with looking into that. And look, it appears to us, just to throw a quick number out there, if you got 150, 200 ditches in a particular area or town or any part of the parish, 10% of that might be an official parish outfall ditch or any other thing. It's the same with roads. There's a lot of rock roads, but they're not all parish. There's a whole lot of ditches, but they're not all for the parish. So what we want to do is prioritize the ones that are parish, get those the way they're supposed to be, then do the cosmetic stuff, cutting and keeping all the rest of it down. But I'll catch you up on that too. Just call me when you have time. Roads, road repairs, Highway 11 repairs from Empire to Buras, that is completely done. They've signed off on it, inspected it, walked through it, striping's done, everything. Look, it's not perfect, but it is better than it was. Hopefully it lasts a little longer than it has in the past. I think Jonah and them just wrapped that up the last couple of days. They do still have a couple punch items, little knick-knack things here and there. One of the things that we did get them to do too is, Councilman Edwards has this issue over here on this side of the river. These asphalt roadways run along wherever they're at. You got the white line on the outside fog line. Then in some cases, you got 4 inches of road on the outside line. Some you got 2, some you got 16 inches. So it varies. People tend to run off the road a little bit on that. We did have that contractor go back and backfill those areas. So that was a good plus. They didn't have to do that, but we said, hey, it makes perfect sense. You're already working here, do it. Don't leave. In some cases, it went from a 3-inch drop off to a 16-inch drop off that blacktop. It was dangerous. So they did do that. Buras Highway, Highway 11 down towards the end, towards the museum. I don't know if this is why you're still, we did do those ones at the end when you're coming up to the stop sign. Up on the concrete side, half a mile up north of, we're fixing to go do those. It's in the concrete. We're going to go ahead and use the coal patch anyway. It should be fine. We don't expect it to be an issue. It's going to be, you got a pretty deep gap across that whole seam. And then water is killing us when it comes to doing these patches. That coal patch asphalt and water doesn't mix well at all. It needs to be a good dry hole. It's just like painting a car or anything else. Preparation prior to putting your product in it makes all the world of difference. Port Sulphur, we've identified roughly a dozen or so pothole type repairs, and that's going to be anywhere from North Street, South Street, Civic, the whole corridor down the 2-lane portion of Highway 23 in Port Sulphur. Some of them have 4 or 5 on one street. Some of them just got one. We know you have the issues up at the apron. So when you see them start down on there, they should spend probably a week on those, and they should knock out most of those. But if you do come across one that you think is a big one, like the one behind Gilbo's you brought back to our attention, they should better knock it out real quick. And then the rest of them would just be a process. They're going to start on one end and work towards to the end. Bergeron, I believe, is finished. If not, it's 99% finished. They were doing some aprons on different driveways, and they had to extend another 60 feet to the highway. I think that was completed yesterday. I know they were going to do the final walkthrough today. Southern Oaks was the one that was going to immediately follow that. I talked to Jonah yesterday. That bid was still going to go out either today or by end of day tomorrow for sure, and he only expects a 10-day process before they have boots on the ground working on Southern Oaks, which is a good thing because we've had a couple people call us lately about Southern Oaks. And then once that work starts, you're only looking at a couple of weeks. Mid-August is still the time frame on that. And that's all I have.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'll start by addressing programs and then facilities for recreation. Registration for flag football has closed. The season will begin the third week of August and runs roughly 6 weeks. We currently have teams ages 5 years to 12 years old, and that includes girls and boys. We completed our new Safe Sitter and Safe at Home programs on Saturday, July 20th. Both programs were ravely received and were completely full by the first week. Participants and their parents enjoyed a ceremony at the end of the program with the instructor. We look forward to offering this program again in the fall or spring months, and we'll also look at hosting the program at different locations across the parish. Repairs to the Roger Halpin Bureau splash pad are complete. The splash pad was opened on yesterday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will continue to open the splash pad Monday through Friday from 10 to 2 until we notice that there's more people coming out, and then we'll increase that schedule. Simply, we're doing that just to kind of control the water usage of the splash pad. But it is being opened every day from 10 to 2 p.m. Repairs at the Empire Splash Pad are still being done. We are working with maintenance to change out the electrical breaker box and to get some of the leaks fixed, but they were at the splash pad today and are actively working on repairing that splash pad. We will continue to prioritize and work to address grass cutting throughout the parish. Right now, if you have any complaints or any issues with grass cutting at any of our parks or playgrounds, please continue to reach out to me and just let me know, and we're addressing it immediately. Lastly, July is National Parks and Recreation Month. Plaquemines Parish is participating in the national campaign, Where You Belong, and we've been hosting special activations throughout the month and posting actively on our Facebook page about different parks and playgrounds across the parish. So if you haven't seen some of the highlights so far, I encourage you to check out Parks and Recreation page and check out our July Parks and Rec Month. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Winters?
For Mr. LaFrance, one thing I forgot, I had it on my agenda, but I didn't have it on my report. Audubon Lane, we discussed Audubon Lane, and the delay from Audubon Lane not being put on them first phases of repair was some drainage issues. That's all been worked out. Audubon Lane in Myrtle Grove Estates Phase 2 will be done on this next round of things, along with the concrete repair package in Bell Chase. Just an FYI on that. I'll get you more detail, but it should be coming up within the next 60 days, I would think.
All right, thank you. Any comment from the public? Mr. Champagne?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You mentioned Southern Oaks coming up next, and you're right, I've been receiving a lot of phone calls on that as well. One of the comments you made, which was a little bit, not concerning, but I think we can do a better job, is the fact that it hasn't been out for bid yet. We should have these things overlapping, because it could potentially save us on mobilization costs, particularly if the same company is awarded the job. They just go from one street to the other, or down the street, rather than having to mobilize from their point of origin. So, and I was under the impression that this was already bid out like 3 months ago. So if it has to go through the bidding process, that's 3 weeks. Then you got to award it, we have to go through that and dispute. So I'm looking at another 2 months.
No. So we discussed that with engineering. So what, if it was above 250,000, yes, that's the public bid side. Because it's below 250, he just needs to get quotes. They estimated the cost for your job in-house, the engineering department did. That's why they anticipate a 10-day window from putting out the bid, opening bids, pre-con meeting, boots on the ground, 10 days.
And again, the same holds true, though. That could have already been done.
Sure.
We could have been, hey, we could have been in execution mode as soon as they walked through Bergeron Lane and said, go.
Yeah.
Next
Okay.
project.
And I'll follow up. I think they talked about why that didn't happen that way. I'll follow up and get you.
Right, just an observation. And again, now a compliment on it. Billy, I want to thank you for your quick response on Oak Street. We had some significant flooding going on there, and the residents sent pictures, and I think they had to be 6 to 8 inches of water that was flooding out their patios, nearly getting in their vehicles. And I really thank you for the quick response and alleviating that situation. Again, thank you. I know we had to pull you off for something, but again, I appreciate that quick response. Do you have anything you can brief us on the pump status?
I'll send you a complete report, But BC2 is now back to 66%. That turbo issue has all been resolved. The only thing we do have a mechanic looking at BC1 today. The last rainfall, last couple of days, they had an issue with one pump out of that. So worst case, if they don't get that one up and running, you'll be at 75% until they do, because that's a 4-pump station. But we don't have any details on it yet. It's got to be taken. They have an initial report, what they think the problem is, but everything else is still the same. Point LaHash is a little better than it was before, but I'll send you the full report on all of them, just so I don't misspeak.
Great, thank you. And for Ms. Morrison, I just wanted to thank you for coming and briefing me on your plans for arts, sports, and recreation. I think that you've got great ideas, and when you briefed me on about a babysitting clause, I would have never even imagined something like that. And that's fantastic that you're offering those type of opportunities for our community. And I think you're going to do us a great service. I'm so grateful that our constituents saw the wisdom in getting an arts, sports, and recreation director. And I just want to thank you on all your efforts so far. I yield.
Reverend Edwards.
Yeah, Billy, I want to get back to about the boom because while I want to commend the work that they're doing on Highway 39, but that grass against the ditch is getting so high. And as a result of that, you're getting trees coming in. I've been asking for this boom for 2 years, and for some reason that worked. If we don't start cleaning stuff around the ditch, we're going to be where trees going to be growing out of that ditch again. The grass is so thick along the edge there. And I look at it, I know I went to one area around Phoenix with a slab, and I was able to cut it down. So it's not that thick weedy. I just think the grass along Highway 39 is so thick. And there's some areas when the grass people cut, and I know it was wet, but they got trees growing in the middle of the highway that seem like a weed eater could take care. The other criticism is that we'll cut the grass along the fence and the posts and all that. Johnson grass is growing, no weed eaters being cut. Seems like to me we should have a group with a weed eater in the front, cleaning the area, create a perimeter so when the tractor comes, he can see you can come close. But they're cutting the grass, but there's a lot of stuff being left in the way. And they cut it again, it's still left there. I think we need to have weed eaters to go. But we got to get a boom on Highway 39 again, because if we continue to let that grass get thick, and what I noticed they're doing, they're coming farther away from cutting the grass to the ditch. There was at one point they was going close to the ditch, but they're not. So now it's getting high, and if you let that stay for another 2 years, it's going to be like it was before, where the roots going to go into the ditch. So I just think that stuff along highway, I don't know. I know after Hurricane Katrina, the Department of Transportation came in on weekends to help. I don't know if we need to write a letter to the Department of Transportation to get them to come in with their booms or see if San Bernard could do it. But I know if we continue to let this stuff get as thick as it is on Highway 39, we're going to have a problem with the ditches, because stuff going to get rooted and we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, I'll follow up on all of that for you and get you a good answer on it. I'm pretty sure you do have an A-boom over here, but it's only one A-boom, so, and that's a lot of miles. And then from the state perspective, their buffer is only 15 feet from the road, so that doesn't have anything to do with the canal or ditch. But I'll follow up on all that for you.
Yeah, because it's getting real thick. The other thing, when you was talking about the road and the drop off, right before you get to my church in Phoenix, there's a drop off there. It's not level off yet. You know, right there where Kimber property is. And last week a car was coming and it went, and they almost messed their tire off because that drop shocked them when they had to do it. So I'm hoping we can get some level off, really there. Looked like in Harlem they came, but I don't think they did it as thick as they need to do to make it even. So they might need to make another pass there.
You done?
Oh, yes.
Mr. Cognovich.
Yes, about Highway 11. Say it's almost done, but a few punch outs. But I've asked at least three other council meetings that after they finished the patch job, and y'all said they was gonna go back and remill the whole thing and do an overlay over it all. And I said I wanted the mill work to go to the boat harbors, and now we're not doing the whole overlay?
That's all been done. The millwork, I think, all went to Home Place, to the water tower.
There's nothing milled. There's no new road in Highway 11. there's spots done, but the whole road's not done.
All of the spots that they were tasked to do that I'm aware of have been done and completed. They just restriped it.
I made it a
Unless we're
point
talking
to
about a different
ask
spot.
that, once these spots was done, y'all said they was gonna come back, remill the whole thing, and do an overlay over the whole road. Now it's not getting done.
Either they misspoke when they told you that, or you misunderstood. The
Oh, you-
overlay was
you
only
and
in the
Jeff
same
told me
patches.
that.
The overlay was only for the patches they were doing, not the whole road.
I was told the whole road.
No way. That job went over budget just doing the patchwork, so. But what you see now has been overlaid. It wasn't a continuous run to overlay the whole road.
Because none of the holes are done from the firehouse to the graveyard. And that's where it was supposed to end, the graveyard. That was told to me.
I'll have to get with engineering and see what the exact.
I'll have to go
location-
back and get the council meetings and copy it, because it was said it was gonna be all milled and redone.
I'll double check on my end, and if you double check on yours, we'll see who dropped the ball. But I think what was said was gonna be done has been done.
Like I said, it was told to me the whole thing was gonna be redone.
Mr. LaFrance.
Yes. Mr. Billy, you said that you was entertaining third parties, grass cutters. I emailed you and asked you what was the amount of liability insurance.
And I haven't gotten that answer yet clearly. I'm trying to get it confirmed to see exactly what it is. Apparently, different jobs, different vendors, in our system, it requires different stuff. So between engineering, who handles most of that, is primarily for these big, large jobs that get bid out. There was some confusion on what was required for them basis on a guy who's gonna do $1,000 a month in lawn care. So the requirements they have were huge. So we're trying to find out, and it'll probably end up on legal's desk to say, hey, what can the minimum requirement of general liability be for a small contractor doing small dollar amounts? It may be based on a dollar amount. We're trying to, even as of today, I was in several different offices trying to get confirmation on that. And it's such a gray area that they want to get it right before we throw a number out there.
Is Happy Jack Road completed?
I'll have to find out. If it's not completed, it's almost complete, because they started it yesterday morning.
Do you know when we're gonna get on Grand Bayou Road? Because I had several phone calls this morning also.
Directly when they leave Happy Jack, they go to Grand Bayou.
Okay. Several months ago, if not a year ago, I asked about getting a price on a crusher to crush some of that material that we have in Diamond so we can get rid of that.
I know engineering did reach out to several companies that they've used in the past, but when they've used it in the past, it was after disasters type stuff. So nobody was really saying, yes, that's a service we provide. I'll follow up with engineering and see, did that mean they don't provide it at all, or was it just a one-off thing? But the machines do exist, so I'll follow up with them and see what they came up with. If not, we'll move forward again and say, hey, let's find out a definite answer. Can they do it? How much will it cost? And where do we go from there?
Yeah, we had machines before that did that.
Sure.
Diamond Park and Ironton, I just showed Mr. Newsom some pictures. Still fighting the grass. But in Ironton Park, the perimeter, the Johnson grass is 6 foot tall. I don't know if we can use that side bush hog to get it, but it's bad.
How recent were those pictures?
I took the picture this morning. Yeah, it's 6 foot tall. Again, it's really bad. Several months ago, I asked the parish president to get with Mr. Zach Smith to go reevaluate the homes in Point Lahash, because Zach had did a flyover and declared these homes over 50% damage. But me and the president, we walked in one of the homes and we saw it wasn't. Now, we getting ready to get up on 3 years. I would like to have these property reevaluated, because people like to move and start renovating their homes.
So Zach already has a list of the homes the addresses and everything?
Well, we don't have that many homes in Westport.
But the ones that they've already did the walkthrough, that you all did the walkthrough?
No, we only did a walkthrough through one home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I know, there's other homes and,
That's in the same situation?
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
okay. Thank you.
Ms. McCarty.
Hello, Mr. Richards. Thank you for the update in District 5. We referred to Covert Road, I believe. You mentioned Concord Road, and I think we were trying to say Covert Road.
Yeah, covert, if I said Concord.
Yeah, okay,
Covert.
Covert Road. So, yeah, that's in somebody else's district. So for the canals, can you also have the boom pass by Planters Canal and New Street in that canal, and then also spray that? Because people are complaining about snakes and,
Yeah, so your ditches will be covert, the one at the end of Epsilon, it goes to that retention pond. And then on the north side of the bridge, it's gonna be Planters Canal, the New Street Canal.
okay,
Across the highway in that Packard pipeline, there's two major outfall canals.
right, yeah,
For the pipes that go under the highway and under Engineers Road, all end up in that open canal and go straight to the big canal. Those two, and then there's a major ditch at West X, across from the water tower in that area. So all those ditches will be on that list.
excellent. Yeah, great, thank you.
Look, and I like to tell people when they talk about snakes,
They live here too.
you got
I
a
know.
25-foot wide canal, and then you got 200 acres of woods behind it, so.
I get it. I've got a canal behind my house. I wanted to thank you for putting the do not enter sign in front of the bridge. People have been concerned about the safety there.
Now, I haven't seen it afterwards, but I was told that somebody may have went and moved them and put them back out the way somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, no.
Chris may know something about that, but
Yeah, according to, it was a Facebook picture that it looks like it got moved compared to the picture he sent me this morning. So we'll get it worked out because that's been an issue ongoing for months now that I've been working on. I know you worked on your safety issues on the north side, so we're working on it. Thank you for that, though. Yes.
Regarding the pump stations, I wanted to mention that a few council members are going to join you to meet with the Jefferson Parish council member next week. So we are looking into ability to monitor the pumps that are run by Jefferson Parish, but in Plaquemines Parish, to try and prevent flooding issues again.
Wait, hold on. You hit your button. Hold on. Give me a second. All right, go ahead.
Okay. And then lastly, you mentioned that we're mapping ditches with GIS. I don't know what platform you're going to use, but I hope that you use Esri, because if we use another platform, we're going to have to do it over again.
so, you can, any server will show you the ditches. What he's having to do is almost like legal work. He has to go back and look at the legal documentation, when it was acquired, or who sold property.
Yes.
It's a time-consuming effort to find out who actually owns what. Like, it's almost to the point where we may have to say, if someone calls about a particular ditch next to a property, have them come provide the paperwork to us, instead of us doing all of this legwork for every single ditch in the parish. We're just we have a general idea of which ones we know are parish ditches, so we're basing with those, starting with those, and then trying to single out all these other ones. It's a time-consuming effort.
Yes.
so it's
And
not
some
so
of
much-
it may also be in an archive from Esri. It's called
Right.
ArcGIS. But I just want to make sure that we're on Esri, because the FBI, the Coast Guard, the Navy, Amazon, they're all on Esri. Thank you.
Mr. Cottonridge.
Billy, I forgot about, I know we talked about it, but people still complaining to me about the bricks at Fort Jackson.
He did get the quotes on that. He should be moving forward on that any day.
So that we know that Tractor did it.
Tractor did do it, yeah. And look, he did everything he was supposed to do. He reported it right when it happened. I think he was even drug tested. There was no issues. It was just an accident.
All right, thank you.
All right. Everybody's good? Next item, please.
5, bids and advertisements, there are none. 6, beer and liquor licenses. 6A, OLPH Fair, located at 8968 Highway 23, Belchase, Louisiana, 70037, on October 11th, 2024, starting at 6 o'clock PM and ending on October 13th, 2024 at 7 o'clock p.m. B, OLPH Fair Parade located at 8968 Highway 23, Belchase, Louisiana, 70037 on October 12th, 2024, starting at 10 a.m. and ending at 11 o'clock a.m. Councilmember Gooey.
Offered by Mr. Gooey, second by Mr. Champagne. Any comments from the audience? Bless you. Administration? Table? Table? Machines are open. Passes 9-0. Next item, please, we'll take A1 through 3 in Globo. 7, A1 through 3.
Crescent Midstream LLC, application number 2024-209, application date 3/6/24, installation of a deep well and node to serve as cathodic protection on the 16-inch DN5 pipeline, Grand Bay, Boothville. Harvest Midstream, application number 2024-632, application date 5/30/24, well 1 pig trap and performing above-ground modifications to the pig trap. Well 2, lifting an 8-inch diameter pipeline to replace 40-foot-long segment of the pipeline. Adding a new 25-foot pipeline to connect the 8-inch pipeline to the existing well 2 platform. Well 5, removing an existing 4-inch diameter pipeline and replacing it with a new 8-inch diameter pipeline south past Venice. 3, Woodland Borough Pits LLC, application number 2024-776, application date 7/8/24, installation of a temporary dredge pipeline and pump discharge line across the Mississippi River levee, 22441 Highway 23, Port Sulphur.
Do I have an offer? Offer by Mr. Jursich, second by Ms. LaFrance. Any comments from the audience? Mr. Brooks? State your name and address, please.
Clarence Brooks, 156 East Camelland. Just another pipeline in District 1. The only reason why I'm saying this, I just want to keep the council aware. These pipelines and all this, they got the rights to have them here. But I want to let your council know that make sure that they are pipelines and rigs and all that kind of stuff. Is that going to be pipelines that we're going to do dredging from the LNG plant or all pipelines? And just make sure that they are compatible or livable with the people in Prana Heights, David, and when they do come.
At the end of Southwest Pass.
Southwest Pass. That's
Live on a houseboat down there, you might see.
You got to remember, I got lost. I could see the top of a marine and couldn't get in. So I don't know nothing with the bayou. All right? Just make sure that they don't do no harm to the people that live in Prana Heights, David, and Phoenix.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Brock, and this is repairs anyway. This is not brand new. This is repairs and modifications.
Any other comments from the audience? Administration? Table? Machines are open. Passes 8-0 with one abstention from Mr. Kognovich. We'll take B through E in Globo.
A&M Lodging and Storage LLC, Mark Majori Senior, Permanent Trailer Park Renewal, 42136 Highway 23, Venice, Louisiana. River Oaks RV Park, Billwood Smith, Permanent Trailer Park Renewal, 26287 Highway 23, Port Sulphur, Louisiana. Shady Oaks Trailer Park, Frank Daigle, conditional approval for 4 additional spaces for a permanent park, Shady Oaks Lane, Belchase, Louisiana. P&M Fireworks, Paul Tozan, Fireworks Stand Renewal for 2024-420 Harvey Boulevard, Belchase, Louisiana.
Do I have an offer? Offer by Mr. Jursich. Do I have a second by Mr. Champagne? Any comments from the audience? State your name and address, please.
Hi, David Clark, 108 Avenue A in Belchase. On C, it's, I'm sorry, for D, Shady Oaks, is that a permanent RV park now?
4 additional spaces for permanent park, according to.
Can somebody answer me that?
I'm sorry?
It's zoned MH. Okay, how many RVs are there now? The reason I'm asking is this is less than half the distance of where I was opposed to putting up my temporary park or permanent park and was denied. And, I mean, people don't even have to come here and represent themselves when they go on for additional spots and stuff. So, I don't know what the issue is with me getting one in the area where I'm at. And this is right in the heart of, the community where they're putting these at. So, just want to make that point.
Yes, sir. Any other comments from the audience? Administration? Table? Machines are open. Passes 7 yeas, 1 no from Ms. Reverend Edwards, and 1 abstention from Mr. Koknovich. At this time, Reverend Edwards would like to add to the agenda a presentation. I guess we got to add that to the agenda, correct? So machines are open to add the presentation to the agenda. Ms. McCarty, Mr. Edwards? You hit it twice. Hit it again. There we go. All right, add to the agenda 9-0. Reverend Edwards, you have the floor. Give me 1 second. All right, Reverend Edwards, you have the floor.
Yes, I am so excited. You can see this, all these pretty yellow roses, flowers in the building today. I am just so excited. This is a part of the District 1 summer camp that I was fighting to get the change for. I'm excited that they're here today, so visibly you can see where the summer camp went. And I think Ms. Ashley is here. She had visited the camp several times, and we have Darrell Lynn, known as Mr. New, to come up. I think they have a presentation. And I just want to say these young people on last week went to a convention center and ended up going to Xavier University with groups from all over the country to put together disaster baskets. And on Tuesday or either Wednesday, they actually give some out in Plaquemine. So I want to commend Darrell Lynn and the young people that work there. Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Darrell DeMall Turner, Director for the East Bank Summer Enrichment Program. And we just wanted to stop by, first of all, to say thank you very, very much and to show off our group of children that I wanted you all to see in person, that this wasn't a hoax, this wasn't a fake, it's actually for real. We started on June 10th and we're ending on today at the Percy Griffin Center, but tomorrow is our big field trip. So the kids are excited, and that's why they're so well behaved, because I already told them that if anybody acts up, they couldn't go on that bus tomorrow to Mississippi. But I do just want to give a small presentation, because we have some kids that put some things together, and they wanted to actually say a few words to you all.
Good afternoon, everyone. Last year, I attended Plaquemines Parish East Bank Recreational Program as a student. This year, I attended as a staff member. On my behalf, I would like to say that this summer program has a lot to offer, especially for the new students who attended this year. The students here are very lucky to have staff members who truly love, care, and put all their time and hard work to make sure everyone has an enjoyable summer. I know for a fact that it is very stressful to handle a vast group of kids, to organize field trips and events for everyone to enjoy. I can't wait to see what next summer has to offer for these fellow students. Have a good day.
Good afternoon.
I want to talk about my camp and how it was so fun to be there. And all the teachers that did things for us. And I liked how lots of the teachers were kind and nice enough to give us lots of chances.
Oh, so sweet.
Good afternoon. I love this school and this is the best summer camp. This is my first year going to the summer camp and I loved it all day, all along. I love the staffs. Good afternoon. This was the best summer camp ever. For the past 6 weeks, I had fun in everything I did. I love my friends, teachers, also this summer camp. I'm so happy to have a person named Miss Nanu to have this summer camp. I love you, Miss Nanu.
Oh. Can't see her.
Good afternoon, everyone. And this summer camp is the funnest summer camp I've ever been to. This is my second year, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of Miss Nanil and all of the staff members who've been here. And you can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it and try.
Miss Taylor, that's the future parish administrator.
We're gonna close you up. Come on.
Good afternoon, everyone. The first thing I have to say about this camp is that it has improved a lot since the last year that I came. This camp has its doors open for everyone inside the community and outside the community. This camp gives us chances after chances, even whenever we don't deserve them. This camp is a camp that actually teaches us discipline and how to help each other. And that's all I have to say.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank Ms. Nanu for accepting me in this summer camp. This is my first year, and I would like to thank all the staffs at this camp. Thanks for showing me new things and helping me spelling and showing me how to spell Louisiana. And you bring me on fun field trips. I would like to also thank the librarian for the animals, fun stories, and funny activities. This is the best summer camp ever because of Miss Nanu.
We do have, anyway, thank you guys so much. Like, y'all really made me cry. I didn't know what they were going to say, but I really am thankful for that. We do have some presentations that we wanted to give out to the people that have helped us along the way. First of all, thank you, Reverend Edwards. Without you and having our back, I know for a fact that this would not be possible. But I do want to thank the council because I know, for the past 2 summers, I've stood here and I've said what we need to do. And here's the proof in the pudding. I'm not making this up. I didn't train these kids. I didn't tell these kids to say that. This came from their heart. So next year I'll be back again. You know what I'm saying? Asking again, can we do this again? And hopefully, I'll get rewarded the same opportunity as I've always been. But again, thank you all so much. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. You work, it was 8 o'clock in the morning. I do thank you so much for taking your time out to help us along the way. And we do have a presentation for you. Jamarcus, that's for Ms. Taylor. And Ms. Taylor, this is for Ms. Bridget, because Ms. Bridget has done an outstanding job in helping us every time we submit paperwork. She's right there to get it done. And on that note, we have one for Ms. Ashley. I know, right? Look, thank you so much. Like, we really appreciate everything that you've done for us and your staff. day in and day out. We text, we call. She answers the phone. I know I'm a pain in the you know what, but thank you so much for everything. Again, this is the staff that you see here. These kids work day in and day out. We have high school seniors, we have college kids, we have kids that are just getting into high school. So again, without you all, this would not be possible. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And tomorrow is our field trip, so pray for us, please.
Yes.
Any questions, any comments, any concerns?
Ms. McCarty, you're in the queue.
I'd like to commend you all for coming here today. At first, I thought you were going to sit here and listen to the government and learn how the government works. I would encourage you to do that as well. And I see that you have some great leaders here. And I hope that you will get involved in student government and then close up when you're in high school and go to DC and just get involved. You all spoke very eloquently. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Rich,
Thank you.
wait, hold on, wait. Ms. Conovich.
Yeah, and then after.
Wait, Ms. Edwards, hold on, Ms. Conovich.
I'm sorry.
I'd like to thank you, Ms. Nanu, and your staff. Y'all do a great job for the community and the children, and I respect that greatly.
Thank you.
But you gotta quit telling them they gotta be good to go on that field trip.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's the second time I heard that.
I remember that last year. It was the day before the field trip too.
It works. It works.
Thank you again.
All right, Mr. LaFrance.
Yes. My old school board
Yes.
member, Ms. Turner, I'd like to thank you for everything that you do for our kids in this parish, not only for the East Bank, but throughout the parish. Thank you very much.
All right, Reverend Edwards.
Yeah, I think we want to take a group picture
Oh, absolutely.
with all
I
the
wanted to ask
kids.
that, but I
We
didn't
want
know
all the
council
kids to get
chair.
in front of council.
Wait,
Yes.
hold on, Miss Taylor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ms. Darrellin, I just want to take a moment to say how much I admire you. Your
Thank you.
love for the community. Lord knows you love the East Bank. And the kids, your love for the kids, our future. Those kids are our future. I admire how much time and effort you put in with those kids. I read your report with every check request.
Thank you.
Your report of the activities y'all do each week. And it's not only just fun activities, it's educational stuff that you're passing on to them.
Thank you.
I admire you. Thank you. Thank your staff. And most of all, thank the kids.
Thank you. And just this week, we did a disaster bucket drive-through that we gave out to the community, so the kids got to be a part of giving back to the community. There had a couple of kids that actually went to the convention center and built the buckets, and then on Tuesday, we actually gave those buckets out to the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We want to get all the kids.
All right, yeah.
In front, and we're gonna stand up behind them and get a group.
Ms. Taylor, Ms. Morrison, if you, all the directors, if y'all want to come, since y'all had some involvement too, get in the picture.
Fill the front up.
Thought they went to sleep, Lord.
Fill in.
Down there.
Be in the paper. Be in the paper.
So early, I was really, yeah, I was getting.
Go over there. Well, go ahead. Y'all want this one? Take this one right here. This ain't gonna hurt. No. Take this. Yeah.
Wait, I'm shaking a bit,
Stand in the chair. Not going on the field trip tomorrow.
All right, everybody, come in. Eyes forward.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, my darling.
Got it already. Thank you, Ken.
I'm going to go throw this out, and when we start reintroductions, then I'm going to take it back off. It's still a little warm in here.
Thank you, Councilman. Oh, yeah, man, just see these kids.
Thank you.
Enjoy your field trip.
Kim, hold on. I'm going to clear up the record. Just for clarification for the record, for the adding to agenda, Councilmember Edwards offered, I second for the record. Just, we didn't clarify that, so I'm just clarifying that now. All right, next item, please.
8, introduction of ordinances and resolutions.
We have the following from Councilmember Schultz. An ordinance authorizing the acceptance of a donation for Homeland Security Emergency Preparedness Department and to amend the 2024 General Fund Operating Revenue and Expenditure Budgets, Homeland Security Emergency Preparedness Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 2024 Road Maintenance Fund Operating Revenue and Expenditure Budgets, Road Maintenance Public Right-of-Way Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend Section 2-23 of the Plaquemines Parish Code of Ordinances and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend and as amended readopt Plaquemines Parish Code of Ordinances Section 2-17, Rule for Transaction of Business Before Council, Chapter 2, Rule 19A, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan and the 2024 operating expenditure budget and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 2024 solid waste disposal fund operating expenditure budget, solid waste District 1 Department, and the solid waste District 2 Department and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvement plan, water treatment plant transfer switch project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And finally, an ordinance to levy millages on the 2024 tax roll on all property subject to taxation by the Plaquemines Parish government and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The next few are for Councilmember Champagne. An ordinance approving a plan of re-subdivision of the property of Terry Robertson, lots 37V, 38V, Phase 1C, the Parks of Plaquemines, subsection Section 2, Township 14 South, Range 24 East, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, into lots 38V1, Phase 1C, the Parks of Plaquemines subdivision, Section 2, Township 14 South, Range 24 East, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as shown on a plan and plat survey by Dufresne Surveying and Engineering, Inc., dated April 22nd, 2024, the owner having fulfilled all of the requirements of the subdivision and re-subdivision ordinance of the Parish of Plaquemines, without cost to the Plaquemines Parish government or the Parish of Plaquemines, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance approving a plan of re-subdivision of the property of Peyton Piglia, lots 135 and 136, Phase 2, the Parks of Plaquemines subdivision, Section 2, Township 14 South, Range 24 East, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, into Lot 135A, Phase 2, the Parks of Plaquemines subdivision, Section 2, Township 14, Range 24 East, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as shown on the plan and plat of survey by KLS Group, Inc., dated May 23, 2024, the owner having fulfilled all of the requirements of the subdivision and re-subdivision ordinance of the Parish of Plaquemines, without cost to the Plaquemines Parish government or the Parish of Plaquemines, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee to do all things necessary and proper to provide assistance to the Plaquemines Community Development Group and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 2024 General Fund Operating Expenditure Budget, Buildings, Belle Chase Government Complex, Open Air Pavilion Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. This one is for Councilmember Gui, a resolution authorizing and directing council, special counsel, and the administration to take the steps necessary to place a charter amendment on the ballot of December 7th, 2024 election, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. You know how to pronounce this? You know how to pronounce that? 'Cause I don't know. Okay, she never called you back. Okay, we have an ordinance, and I'm sorry if I slaughter these people's names. An ordinance approving a plan of re-subdivision of Jayla Kashmi, Rajendranda, and Rajendranda Sandaraji, Lot C4, Grants Plantation, Naran Plantation, Section 41, Township 19 South, Range 24 East, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, into Lot C4A, C4B, C4C, and C4D, Grants Plantation, Naran Plantation, Section 41, Township 19 South, Range 28 East, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as shown on the plan and plat of survey by Dufresne Surveying and Engineering, Inc., dated June 14th, 2022, the owner having fulfilled all of the requirements of the subdivision and re-subdivision ordinance of the parish of Plaquemines without cost to the Plaquemines parish government or the parish of Plaquemines, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And I'm sorry, I didn't say that this is for Councilmember LaFrance. And we have another one, for Councilmember LaFrance, a resolution authorizing Plaquemines parish government to declare parcel number 8400500 the LSU Ag Center surplus property, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And finally, a one for Councilmember Jurisic, a resolution authorizing Plaquemines Parish government to declare parcel number 1451734 located on Engineers Road surplus property, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. That is it.
Ms. Toops, next time you have problem pronouncing names, I would consult with Councilmember Schultz,
Okay,
because he can,
right on with it.
he's on with it.
Got it.
I'll defer back to you. You've been around this parish a lot longer than I have. You know all the names.
I put my bet on Mitch.
Mitch can barely say his own name. I'm just joking.
Hey, but I didn't want you to see what kind of friend you have. I'm sorry.
Would that be considered public bullying?
Yes, it would be. Love you, Mitch. All right, at this time, we'll go through the deferrals. 9B, as in boy. 9E. And 9J will be deferred.
9B.
B, as in boy. B, as in boy. Bravo. E, Echo. J, Juliet. Any other ones that I don't know about?
He watches a lot of movies.
All right. At this time, we'll go to 9C. I think Ms. LaFrance wants for discussion.
An ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan repairs Diamond Park project and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember LaFrance.
So offer for discussion.
Offered by Ms. LaFrance for discussion, second by Mr. Kognovich.
Yes, I said I was gonna hold off until this item.
I just turned it on.
Said I was gonna hold on to this item until we get the rollover. We have an item, we at the end of July. When do we expect the rollover?
From what Rachel told me on yesterday, we're looking at about 2 weeks.
So will it be ready before the next council meeting?
We'll try to get the introduction done and have it ready. She told me next 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. All right, thank you.
We are working, trying to get it done.
Okay, you have any projection how it look?
I don't want to throw any numbers out.
Okay.
I don't want to throw any numbers out. We are working on it.
Is it good or is it bad?
Small woman.
Is it good or is it bad?
Oh, he gonna stop.
Okay. Okay. Oh, we'll talk off the mic.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, you'll defer at this point?
Yes.
All right, 9C will be deferred at this point. Next item, please.
D, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvement plan repairs Helfin Memorial Park project and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Coniston.
And we do have changes to that. On line 13, under section 1, the general fund unreserved undesignated fund balance has been removed, and the new fund balance is designated for emergencies.
Second.
Offered by Mr. Conover, second by Reverend Edwards. Any comments from the audience? Administration? Table? Mr. Champagne?
Councilman Cognovich, I'm for this. I'm just curious. I mean, have you worked with Ashley Morrison, to coordinate the efforts on the improvements for Roger Alpin Field? Because it definitely needs it. I just wanted to make sure it's something that's being coordinated and falls in line with some of the vision that she had. That's my question. I yield.
I got a call from Corey Bowie, and he went over everything he needed, and he said that's the amount of money. That's what I went.
Mr. Newsom?
Yeah, and again, for, Ms. Ashley, is this included in that presentation you gave to myself in your budget? Is this?
No, this is not included. This was introduced prior to me meeting with you all.
Uh-huh.
This is for repairs to the restrooms over at the park. They are in complete disarray. They need repairs from the roof to the floor. So this is so that we can get those restrooms repaired.
Okay, there's no,
Only thing that we put in the
know you had some-
presentation that I met with you was for the splash pad.
okay, that's right.
This is new pipe at the tennis court, new tennis nets.
Well, when the tennis
The
nets.
tennis nets are in mine,
The
yeah.
tennis nets are included in your presentation for what you're asking for your budget, correct?
Correct.
So this
I
third, this,
can remove that from mine since mine hasn't been moved forward.
okay. Again, we're coming out the emergency fund during hurricane season. Is there a possibility like Ms. LaFrance waiting?
That's the only place to get it.
Right.
It's the only place we putting money. I can't get a price of what we bringing in from Venture Global right now. So
Well, that's port issues, that's port.
that's where we,
Sales tax, it'll come out and roll over. But I'm just saying,
I should be able to get it when I call. But I'm told I can't get it. So that's where it's.
well, I don't know, that's finance.
I
don't
didn't
know.
pick the emergency fund, they picked it.
Right, because that's what I'm saying, that's the only place we have in our general fund, a little over $10,000, so, and I'm just saying, I know Mr. And look, if it needs to be fixed, it needs to be fixed, that's not, but it's just leery on our due diligence, pulling money out the emergency fund in the midst of hurricane season, if we do have something where we need hurricane season. Now, it just, again, sets bad things doing, pulling out emergency fund in hurricane season. Is this an emergency? That's another question. Thank you, and I yield.
Mr. Newsom, I completely understand what you're saying, and when we get the rollover, we can put this 30,000 back into emergencies.
Mr. LaFrance?
Yes.
I can do the same thing for Ms. LaFrance then.
Well, I have a little bit more patience, but have you ever been in a park and needing to use a bathroom? That is an emergency. That is an emergency. That's an emergency.
So
I'm going to support you on this. You only asking $30. I'm going to support you. The bathroom needs to be fixed. Some of our parks are in deplorable condition. They need help. So I really don't see what's the big issue. I understand about the emergency fund, but listen, we anticipate through the sales tax, that's what's going on with the construction of the venture. We anticipating a big windfall with the sales tax. So if you need to get the bathroom fixed, get them fixed, get them done. Our people need a bathroom. Thank you.
Ms. Conovich?
This is the cheapest one out of my two. The other bathrooms at Lee Harvey Park, they've went in and stole all the wires and all the piping out the walls. So we got a big fix there. But that's the only place we putting money into from the taxes we bringing in into the emergency fund. So
I want to ask a question, which I don't know who would have this answer, is what happened to the bathroom? Because I know last baseball season, I went to that bathroom twice when my son was playing down there. And were they the best condition? No, but they were functional and they were not. And my son didn't play baseball this year, so I didn't go down there this year. But what happened from last year to this year? I don't know, Ms. Skonovich, if you can answer, or Ms. Morrison, you can answer. I'm just kind of curious on what happened.
Because I get complaints all the time about not keeping them clean or anything.
Okay.
The roof, that building was built before Katrina.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I said, last year it wasn't the best it wasn't like state-of-the-art bathroom or anything, but it was working bathroom and it was fine. And now it sounds like it completely went downhill. So we need to do a better job monitoring these things.
Yes, so from my understanding, like Councilman Bogdanovich mentioned, they weren't in the best condition, but there was some vandalism. So the mirrors were shattered, the sinks were smashed, some of the sinks were broken. I'm not sure when it took place, but it wasn't after hours.
Okay, all right. Thank
Event.
you. Mr. Newsom.
Yes, thank you. Did, Ms. Morrison, did Mr. Convich said Mr. Bowie did a estimate on this price. Is that coming from your office? Do you guys have of what you're gonna do with this? Do we have I guess we don't have a quote, but I don't know, we might have a quote. I don't know, you guys might have a quote. Do you have any quotes to repair this, or is there somebody, is it 30, is 30 enough, or is it saying, or do we have to go back, or do we need 15? Where did Corey get this number at? Do you know?
So that number came from, as he said, Corey, our superintendent. I do know he received a quote from the contractor that's repairing the restrooms at Cypress Park.
Okay.
So I can get.
So we do have we do have
a quote, yes.
That's all. And, well, I guess this, if this is approved, will your office handle the repairs of this? Is that how it's gonna work?
Correct.
And when would you anticipate them to start? Or do you have that? And again, I'm not asking you January or a certain date, but a month would be nice. When would you expect the repairs to start?
So once we were to get the funds to begin the work, we would get with the contractor and see their start date. I could find that out, but I don't have that.
I didn't expect, okay. That's all, thank you.
Mr. Jurisic.
Yes, well, I agree bathrooms are very important. Once these bathrooms are repaired, will they just be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Because, I feel like when they're being utilized, when people are utilizing the park, they should be locked otherwise, because if not, that's when your vandals come in, they do everything in their power to, they'll even sleep in there, they'll live in there, we have a lot of that going on down there. And another thing I want to stress, let's all be happy about rollover funds. Let's be very careful about rollover funds, because we need to save some of this money. This money is not just because it's coming in, we just go spend it. I'm going to tell you right now, we need to watch this, because these sales taxes will decline over time. This rollover fund is also a rainy day fund. So let's not get all hooty-dooty and want to, say, hey, we got this coming in. We don't even know what it is yet. We don't know where it's at. I'll agree with Councilmember Konovich, because I get the same complaints he gets. But be mindful, we only a month away possibly from getting these rollover funds. But, we know if we take this 30,000, that's the first thing going right back in it. So I just want to reiterate, rollover funds sound great. Sound like it may be big. It may not be as big as we anticipate. But we are the ones responsible for using those rollover funds wisely, and that's what I want to do with it. I don't want to just throw it out there and try to fix every crack and crevice because we got this extra money. That's
Correct. And I'm going to add to that is whatever it is, at least $3 million comes right off the top, because we got $1 million to replace the bond indebtedness fund, and already $2 million to replace the emergency fund as of right now. So $3 million right off the top, whatever rollover is, plus 25% for the surplus fund that is supposed to get us by in a couple of years. So I second what Mr. Jurisic was just saying. All right, any other comments? Machines are open. Passes 9-0. Next item, please.
F, a resolution providing for canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the special election held in the parish of Plaquemine, state of Louisiana on Saturday, March 23rd, 2024, and to promulgate the results thereof. Councilmember Schultz.
I offer, ask for a second. Second by Ms. McCarty. Any comments from the audience? Administration, table, machines are open. Passes 9-0. Next item, please.
An ordinance to amend the 2024 operating revenue and expenditure budgets to accept a donation for Plaquemines Parish Day at the Louisiana Legislature and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Schultz.
I offer, ask for a second. Second by Mr. Juristich. Any comments from the audience? Table, or administration? Table, machines are open. Passes 9-0. Next item, please.
An ordinance to amend the 2024 general fund operating expenditure budget, self-insurance program department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Schultz.
I offer, ask for a second. Second by Mr. Champagne. Any comments from the audience? Administration? Mr. Newsom?
Again, this is another emergency fund. What are we doing here? Anybody?
You want, this is,
So since we are self-insurers, we have to participate in something called the Second Injury Fund. And essentially, it's a built-in insurance within insurance, whereby it basically encourages employers to hire folks with partial, permanent, it's actually called pre-existing permanent partial disability. And so we're assessed a certain amount every year by the state in order to participate in that program. And should we hire somebody who has a pre-existing permanent partial disability and they do receive a second injury, this fund helps pay for those that compensation, and so that way we don't incur it. So that's what this is. We received our $60,000 assessment from the Workers Commission. Workforce Commission, and that's what this is.
Is this an item that can be budgeted?
It is an item that can be budgeted. Typically, our assessment is much lower than it was for last year, and so it was a cost that is a little higher than what we typically expected. But yes, it is part of the budget. What we don't want to do is Mr. Tuesday's been very active at kind of working out through some of these workers' compensation things. So the fund, we've been reducing the fund. Now, that helps us long-term because it we settle in cases and stuff, so we don't have these burdens indefinitely into the future. So the fund this year, because of its aggressiveness, is a little lower than it normally is. We just don't want to run in a situation where a couple months from now, we have to come back and ask you guys for more money or have some sort of interruption in paying the benefits we need to pay.
Is this 60,000, you receive it when we appropriate if we appropriate the funds, you receive, you're gonna write a check, or is this just something that's gonna sit there and
It's a check we send to the state to participate in the program, which is actually required by law.
Again, and I agree that my hang-up is again, it's as well as I told as well as I spoke on the 30,000, it's 60,000 coming out the emergency fund in the midst of hurricane season, and we just. Again, I guess it is considered emergency for insurance, so.
Yeah, it's an obligation that we have by being self-insurers as part of the state, and actually, if we fail to pay it, there'll be fees and penalties assessed on that.
Okay. I'm done, thank you.
Machines are open. Passes 9-0. Next item, please.
I, an ordinance to amend Chapter 4 of the Parish Code of Ordinances by enacting Section 411, Fairs, Festivals, and Special Events, establishing regulations for the issuance of special temporary retail alcoholic beverage permits, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Champagne.
Offered by Mr. Champagne, second by Ms. McCarty. Any comments from the audience? Administration? Table? Machines are open. Passes 9-0. Next item, please.
A, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvement plan, repairs Daybrook Lift Station Replacement Project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Costello.
Offered by Mr. Cognizant, second by Mr. Jurcic. Any comments from the audience? Administration? Table? Machines are open.
What a mercy. Rollover better be high.
Yeah, but it's a grant, so.
I know.
Well, this is
We
the
still
match.
got a match sheet, though. This is the match.
Well,
Yeah, it is. $133.
all right. Next item, please.
10, approval of the minutes from the July 11th, 2024 regular meeting.
Offered by Ms. LaFrance. Second by Mr. Jurcic. Comments from the audience? Administration, table, machines are open. Passes 9-0. Next item, please.
11, new business, B, District 7, update, Councilmember LaFrance. Suzie Bayou dredging project, update on NOV levee construction, Myrtle Grove Phase 2 road projects on District 7 roads throughout subdivisions.
Deferring by Mr. LaFrance. Next item, please.
C, District 8, update, Councilmember Jurcic, Empire Shipyard repairs.
Mr. Jurcic.
Yes, I've been getting several calls pertaining to these shipyard repairs. We're already several months behind where we should have been. And I see Mr. Scobell, you're in the audience. If, you want to come forward, express your concerns and give us some of the reasons, how it hurts not to be moving forward quicker than we did. I think I sent you a timeline yesterday. I emailed you one trying to give you the details of the timeline to try to narrow it down. Now, I will tell you, I did express some concern over the award of the contract. I looked up some things about the company coming in to do the work, and I'm hoping they can do the job properly because it's a very important job. This is very heavy lifts that go on at this shipyard. So I want to be sure that, when they come in to do the work, that they're properly licensed, have the proper equipment to do so. Mr. Scobell, you want to speak?
Yes, good afternoon. My name's Trey Scobell. We're for a family-run business. We've been established for about 3 generations. So my grandpa, my father, myself, we've all worked in the family business. We work in the oil and gas sector. We also support other industries such as the shipping industry and the dredge market. So our business has kind of evolved over the years. We've kind of worked hand in hand and alongside some of the other industries such as the fishing industry. And so the Empire Shipyard is, of course, one asset that the parish, I believe, owns and operates, as well as a couple others. Since this shipyard's been down, we've been using our resources to dry dock our vessels elsewhere. And that involves spending extra money, resources, getting the vessels moved to different locations outside of the normal area where we operate when we have the access to the Empire Shipyard. I know generally speaking, it's a process when a major repair like this has to take place, that it can't be done overnight. And when you're dealing with parish employees, the environment, you have to calculate things, do a risk assessment before anything's done. But generally speaking, just from my point of view, being in business, I can't take this long to function. If one of my customers asks for some kind of movement, I get paid to make arrangements in business, and taking this long is kind of not ideal. And it not only impacts my family business, our employees, our bottom lines, but it also affects the fishing industry. Because the fishing industry, as you all know, we're fortunate to live in this parish. We all reap the benefits of having seafood. But a lot of these commercial fishermen, they depended on to utilize this asset, this shipyard, between probably February and now. And it's been down that long. So you can imagine how it's impacting the citizens. It's going to affect everybody eventually. I just think really it's unfortunate the amount of time it's taken. And I just have a couple of follow-up questions. I don't want to take your time. I know it takes time to be here today. I appreciate everyone's service to the council and the parish. It is important. It takes special people with special efforts to get things done. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm just one voice. I'd like to make sure that we're covering our bases as a company and that as a parish, we've been represented properly when it comes to major improvements or repairs to our parish. So in particular for this Empire project, just have a couple of quick questions. My understanding was there was some type of arrangement where a grant can be approved and to cover these expenses. Also, I shared emails today with Mitch and Mr. Billy regarding the cost. So cost is always going to be something, it's not a fictitious item. Cost always has to be evaluated whenever parish has to spend money. And so we understand and we respect that it has to be gauged properly. But whenever a grant can be approved, if a grant can be approved for things like this, I think it would take the burden off the parish, off the citizens. And I don't know exactly how the finances work regarding the Plaquemines Port. With the port offers is a different entity, I guess. It's not the parish, but the parish and the port kind of, I guess, have to work hand in hand on what the benefits are, who's reaping those benefits, and what's being given back, not only to the parish, not just the businesses, but the citizens. So if there's a significant amount of money being generated by the port, what are they doing besides? And so those are other questions that I guess I'll have to get answers from at a later meeting at a different location. But my expectation is there's a lot of vessel operators, there's a lot of owners. We're surrounded by water, and it's one of our biggest assets, but it could also be a big liability. So we have to take care of our levees. We got lots of things to do. But I don't see why we couldn't get federal funding to support these projects, because it should not be coming from tax dollars.
And they're not. We do have funding. It's called the Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund. Comes from the Corps of Engineers. It goes directly to the port for these type of projects, maintenance of harbors, dredging, doing, and the Empire Shipyard happened to fall within them parameters. So we do have enough funding in that account to get this job complete. So that's a good thing. It's not coming from tax dollars. It's coming from money from the Corps of Engineers Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund. And we had a little hiccup getting that money shifted around. There was a couple of delays, and I wasn't happy with them. I talked to you about that throughout the whole process. So we do have the funding. It's not costing the taxpayers anything. And, it's no match from us. It's basically monies that are given to us on an annual basis. We have to, we got behind a little bit, and that's what I think slowed the process down. But we're moving forward. The timeline, the estimated date for construction completion, which I sent to you, is October 7th. It's a couple months later than I wanted it to be. Of course, everything in government moves at a snail's pace. So we are hopefully, August 7th is the estimated date to start construction. Be mindful of 60 days. They're estimating about 60 days. Better weather will hopefully have it done sooner. Unfortunately, we're in the midst of hurricane season, so that can delay things as well. You're not the only one, believe me. And I know Councilmember Konovich, probably Councilmember LaFrance. We deal with a lot. Council member, don't look at me like that, Red. I'm just saying. But no, it's, so we're hearing it, and it's painful, and it's painful to me when I got to tell you and others that October 7th, when we were hoping for August 7th to be the completion date. So it's getting done now. It's approved. The bids have been accepted. Let's just hope when the company comes in, they're able to do the work with the right equipment in a timely manner. And I will be watchdogging this. I will watch it with a fine-tooth comb because I've seen work done in the past, and I'm not going to allow that type of work. So, I think this pretty much answers your questions. And anytime you got my number, you can call me anytime. Billy's available. Me and Billy talk about this all the time. We were both kind of sideswiped by we thought the bidding process had started much sooner, and it didn't. So, with that being said, Trey, reach out to me anytime, and I'll keep you updated. Hopefully we can see something in the next couple weeks, show up there at the site. And I did go over some of the work. They are going to do, tear up the slab and things that I had concerns about. They're going to do all of that. So I'm going to watch it. I'm on it. This is one of my pet peeves, something, that needs to happen. I know y'all got Coast Guard inspection that really puts y'all in a bind when you can't come to Empire just to pick up for inspection. You got to go to Harvey or elsewhere. It delays things. So your concerns are very well noted, and we are moving forward, and I will keep you informed.
Well, I appreciate y'all's time. Just one follow-up question. So as the shipyards and the terminals regarding the port are kind of interconnected, how does that work with a strategy or a plan where there can be annual upgrades or fees? So it could be, I guess, a part of maybe a maintenance item in a fund as opposed to having to wait for, 10 or 20 years to redo a specific location. I think that would be maybe a recommendation. I can't really say that I have the answers, but it would be really nice just to know that if the port is connected to the parish and the parish is connected to the port, that, that the port could help fund these arrangements. I mean, I don't know how it all works, but I think that would be ideal.
That fund comes to us every year. Problem is, the last couple of years, nobody's been collecting it, so we're a couple of years behind. But we're on it now. We're setting up, protocol where this time every year, we know this fund's available. We're going to go in and we're going to get this fund and put it in this harbor maintenance trust fund. And if we get a couple of years where we don't have any work needing to be done, it just build up, till we need it. And that's where we're at. But that fund is there, and, hopefully we can continue to get those monies.
All right, appreciate it. Thank y'all for y'all's time.
Mr. Gognovich?
I could tell you, we've used it in the past. The problem is, just like every other fund, there's a lot of hands that want that money. Because the harbors, you got to figure, all of Venice is a harbor, so anything dredging, that money goes to that. The boat harbors, when we dredge them, that money goes to that. So there's not only one spot it's got to go to. Everybody wants everybody wants a little piece of the pie. Yeah, right, I can understand.
All right, thank you. All right.
Hi, David Clark, 108 Avenue in Bell Chase. Heard mentioned twice, we had concerns about the contractor. Who's going to be overseeing the project? Coastal Engineering, okay. Because I know we had buildings in the past built and then we had to tear down and things like that, so.
Okay, no, it's Coastal Engineering is going to be overseeing the project, and I'm going to be overseeing them.
Right, but I mean, they're ultimately responsible for signing off on the project, right?
Right,
Okay.
we're going to watch them.
Right, okay.
Thank you. All right. Motion by Mr. Newsom, second by Mr. Gognovich.
See y'all later.
Machines are open. We have passes 8-1 by Mr. Edwards. By no, we have adjournment at 3:31 p.m.